and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Tax the rich. Seems reasonable enough. We live in a system where the top 1% control everything. We live in a system where our monarchy, our ruling monarchs, who go by the titles of billionaires and CEOs, pay absolutely zero in taxes. And let's face it, there has been a call amongst the people for an equal share of the burden to be put on the rich. Now, these millionaires and these billionaires, these tycoons, these corporations that pay zero in taxes own our democracy, buy our politicians, both Democrat and Republican. Now, the people in office, they only give half measures, and we're lucky if we even get that. Usually they're all watered down and they're not going to push back. Now, we've seen how tough the Congressional Progressive Caucus is when it comes time to challenge the Democratic establishment. We've seen how Bernie Sanders lets the DNC commit election fraud to him not once but twice. And now we're seeing a recent fight between Senator Elizabeth Warren and CEO Mark Cuban. Now, Fox News is more than happy to jump on this like a horny kangaroo out of hell because, oh, yeah, it's a chance to fight Elizabeth Warren, who's this great heavyweight champion of progressivism and someone who can get things done in Congress. No, nothing can be done. She's not going to do anything. That's the real truth. Okay. Senator Warren likes to put on a show. But when push comes to shove, she was more than happy to jump on board the Hillary Clinton campaign. And of course, make smears and lies about Bernie Sanders. That happened in 2020. But, hey, for some reason, Fox News is still happy to jump on this and say that Warren is this heavyweight champion of progressivism, which she is not. So here I got this video for all of you. Shout out again to Case Study QB, who, again, always speaks truth to power. He's being wrongly censored on Twitter. So if you're not following him on Twitter or subscribe to his YouTube channel or Odyssey page, please do so. He's done a lot of great work and Twitter is wrongly censoring him. So here, let's watch how Fox News is salivating over this fight of Warren versus Cuban. By the way, at the end of the day, no matter where you stand on this issue, nothing's going to fundamentally change at all. And Fox News is more than happy to talk about this. So let's hear it out.
You know who has butlers? The rich,
That's
super
true.
rich. And one thing about, you hear all the Democrats and they've got these grand plans to do great things, but who's going to pay for it? Well, they always have the same mantra. They're going to soak the rich. And somebody who's been saying that for a number of years is Elizabeth Warren, the senator from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Just take a look. Here are some of her greatest hits on taxing the rich.
Okay, first of all, no, she was copying that from other progressive groups and other politicians. But, okay, Fox News. You're more than happy to call anyone a socialist and a communist. Hell, this is the same media outlet that calls Biden a communist and a socialist. Fox News, you must love that word. Truly love that word. You just put it on anyone, even though they're not, Even call Nancy Pelosi a socialist and a communist. I mean, what? She does insider trading. You guys should be jumping up for joy that she does that.
One thing we need to do is to get the billionaires to actually pay income tax. We have a debt problem partly because the very richest people just aren't paying. We all understand the importance of making sure that billionaires who've been paying virtually nothing in taxes.
By the way, shout out to Edward Heller, one of our moderators. Someone please bash Fox News and Senator Warren over the head with the Deficit Myth book. Thank you. Hashtag MMT. Yes, I think Fox News and Senator Elizabeth Warren need to sit down and read the book, The Deficit Myth. So there you go. Okay.
Are forced to pick up and pay something to help run this country. The 99.9% paid 7.4%. I'm tired of freeloading billionaires.
It was not too long ago.
Let's see, what's interesting to point out is that the Democratic Party is more than happy to give a free ride to these billionaires, because the same people who donate to the Republican Party, remember this, same people who donate to the Republican Party The millionaires, the billionaires, the hedge fund managers, private equity firms, Wall Street executives, big banks, all of that. Same people who donate to the Republican Party also donate to the Democratic Party. Same people who donate to the Democratic Party also donate to the Republican Party. It's one big club, and you, the average voter, ain't in it. Just remember that. And you think Warren or AOC or Bernie is going to challenge the Democratic leadership? You know, if they actually had a backbone, Warren and Sanders could challenge the Senate leadership. If AOC and the entire Congressional Progressive Caucus actually had a backbone, they could challenge Nancy and the entire Democratic leadership in the House. That's if they had a backbone, which they don't.
When we had that mantra, probably the 80s, greed is good. Remember, we used to hail people that were successful, whether in finance or anything.
You were happy. Hold on. I'm sorry. We have to rewind that. That guy was happy just to quote that film. Wall Street, Michael Douglas. Hold on. We're just going to listen to that. Hold on.
Long ago, when we had that mantra, probably the 80s, greed is good. Remember, we used to hail people that were successful, whether in.
Yeah, he was all happy. Oh, that was Wall Street. Greed is good. I think the purpose of that film is flying over these three stooges' head, but hey, greed is good. And Fox News is more than happy to salivate and get on its knees for that Wall Street. I got to be careful how I talk because it's YouTube. But let's face it, they're more than happy to just, bend over backwards for the Wall Street people because, we just got to get the money. Oh, all that money. Yeah. And corporations buying off everything. 5 corporations control 92% of the media in the United States. So there you go. Yeah, greed is good. Greed is already controlling everything. And also greed is controlling our politicians. So, yeah, don't worry. The mantra's still here.
Finance or anything else, we say, wow, look at the size of that car. Wonder what that guy or what that woman does. I wonder how they made their money. Now we look at them and say, well, they must have cheated. They must not be paying their taxes.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of these billionaires are cheating. They're not paying their taxes. A lot of these billionaires are buying off the politicians. Thank you, Supreme Court of the United States, for legalizing bribery in America, where anybody, not just Russia, but any corporation and foreign country can actually buy a U.S. politician. So, yeah, a lot of these billionaires are cheating. They got the cheat codes on.
Must have an account that got him out of.
And listen, there are people who have self-made themselves. But we're talking about, I showed you guys on the show, the Cargill family, who has a super monopoly over all the food that we eat. They got life on easy mode. They're set. There's the Walton family. They're set. There's good old Jeffy Bezos who can't get it up. He's set. He can't get it up in outer space. He only can get the tip up there. But anyways, y'all get what I'm saying. Just throwing it out there.
Things they must have robbed people or took advantage of people to be successful.
True.
It's just the wrong, backwards way of thinking that has people, instead of looking up to the successful, resenting the successful. Another self-made billionaire is Mark Cuban that fits that description.
That's right. And here's the soundbite of the week, I would say. Mark Cuban making it very clear, not a fan of Senator Elizabeth Warren.
I don't mind being taxed more. I wrote a blog 20 years ago saying it's the most patriotic thing you can do after military service is pay your taxes, because that's what allows everybody, to live and to prosper. But yeah, the idea of just soak the rich, billionaire tears that sell that cup. Screw you, Elizabeth Warren. You're everything wrong with politics.
Okay.
Okay, I can agree with him about saying, hey, everything wrong with politics, but it's just not her. It's all her fantastic friends in the United States Senate and House. That goes for Democratic and Republican lawmakers. So, Mark, you were kind of right, but there you go. But yeah,
hours a week.
Okay.
The guy works 80 hours a week. He takes tremendous risk. Not every job, not every idea he has yields great revenue, but he takes tremendous risks in life. And
man, hey, buddy, you got a little something on your nose right there.
Instead of people saying, well, how did you do that? You have other people saying, why don't you pay me more? Right. Really? Why don't you work 90 hours a week?
Hold on. We're rewinding that.
And instead of people saying, well, how did you do that? You have other people saying, why don't you pay me more? Right. Really? Why don't you work 90 hours a week? What?
Hold on. First of all, that's all true. The wages have not increased in this country for a very, very long time. And you have Americans working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Why do you think so many people are resigning right now? It's not that they're being lazy. It's just a lot of people are burnt out and tired of working for a system that doesn't give a damn about them. You know, a lot of people don't even have money for a medical emergency in their savings or checking account. A lot of people are riddled with medical debt, student debt. People are being evicted from their homes and apartments. And it's just not one group or one group of voters. It's the American people that are suffering the most. You know, we have this weird puritanical logic of work, 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 work until you die. Work, 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 and somehow you'll make it. Work, 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 work. You know what? Everyone's and I keep saying this on the show, and I hope all of you keep on quoting it. Everyone's biggest regret that they say when they're on their deathbed, oh, I wish I didn't work so much. Well, I think so many Americans are quitting because they realize that it just doesn't make sense anymore.
Why don't you take your capital and put it into that?
Yeah.
You know, why don't you spend this much time away from your family in order to invest?
People do spend a lot of time away from their family working these jobs at these minimum wage jobs and these other locations where they don't pay as much, lack of benefits. Before anyone types in the comment section below, oh, maybe they should just move out and go to someplace else where they do pay more. Well, a lot of people don't have access to cars. There's a lack of transportation and so much more. And our crumbling infrastructure. Just throwing it out there, Fox News, you know, before you start talking out your rear ends. But that's what you guys do the most, just like CNN.
Invest and put your attention on something else for a short period of time to try to make our country better, to make you more successful. But in the same process, you know how many people that Mark Cuban has hired? You know how many people he's given careers to and opportunities to be successful?
Not only does he have something on his nose, he's got something on the side of his lips too, you know, just throwing it out there.
That's what happens in our society. Successful people hire other people who can learn from them, grow their company, and eventually spin out on their own. There's no appreciation or ever talk from politicians about people, the risks they take, those who try to make our economy grow and make themselves successful, and the ripple effects through there. All we hear about is give me more money, tax a little bit more, and be resentful of the person with the nicer car and the bigger house. I don't know where this came from.
Well, where it came from was because a lot of Americans were waking up to the fact that they're being screwed over by these politicians. And yes, these politicians love these billionaires. I mean, you really think that the current Democratic and Republican lawmakers are just going to one day stop, say, wait a minute, maybe we should tax the rich? No, they're not going to do that. You think if they were ever going to do that, what gives you proof that they were ever going to do something that crazy? No, these billionaires, these corporations, these private equity firms control our lawmakers. And there's no way in hell Warren or Bernie Sanders are ever going to do that so long as they are part of the two-party system. So don't worry, Fox News. Just calm your tits down. You'll be fine. Just calm down. Have a snack or something because you're panicking over nothing.
Ultimately, the rich just pay the taxes they owe. If you don't like the rate, change the tax rate, change the tax code. And there have been movements throughout history, but when it's finally time, push comes to shove, it's funny how not enough Democrats and Republicans get on the same page. So they never.
Yeah, because you know why? Those same Democratic and Republican lawmakers are owned by the top 1%, the people who are rigging the system. We don't live in a democracy. We live in an oligarchy.
You know, they never really jack up. They never really tax the rich. Because if you ask a number of liberals what a fair tax rate would be, they might go, well, if you're a billionaire, then what about 75%?
Yeah.
Why not 85%?
Mark Cuban, clearly a very successful businessman. He's worth $4.6 billion. And he's not criticizing Elizabeth Warren because he's afraid that more of that money will go away. He's got a lot to go around. What he's saying is that it would be taxing corporations, like you said, Steve, at a higher rate, which did, by the way, happen in the Inflation Reduction Act, a base of 15%, and taxing wealthy people more than what they owe is bad for the economy because it disincentivizes hard work.
Right.
It also makes people put their money in their corporations offshore. And when you're talking about paying your fair share, really quickly, the IRS in 2018 says the top 1% of taxpayers paid $616 billion in income taxes, which is 40% of all income taxes
paid. It takes Joe Biden 2 minutes to spend that. And on top of that, if you take the state and federal taxes, you're paying over 50% in blue states to the tax man and woman. And how about this? If 87,000 new IRS agents out there on the cost of $87 billion, you know how quick the president's been spending other people's money over the.
First of all, Fox News, you got to calm down about those 87,000 IRS agents. They're not going to go after the top 1%. They're just going to go after little people. And they're going to go after all the voters, regular Republican voters, Democratic voters, independent voters. Those IRS agents are not going to go for the top 1%. You think the do you really, again, this is corporate media and Fox News. It's filling out its role as, again, a right-wing media outlet, which is what it is. And they're saying, oh, hey, oh no, these poor corporations. Oh no, don't worry. The corporations are going to be fine. The two-party system will make sure that all the corporations, Wall Street people are going to be safe. They know they know how their bread is buttered. But it's easy because then all of a sudden here again, corporate media, it likes to do this division, likes to do this whole smoke and mirror show for you guys. CNN, MSNBC, they have their biases, they have their points of view, and Fox News has its own bias here too. So the thing is, it's very interesting that they keep saying, "Oh no, what about the poor corporations?" See, it doesn't matter who's fighting between whether it's Elizabeth Warren and Mark Cuban. You know, they're going to go back to their respective corners. And Fox News is more than happy to talk about this, trying to rile people up, to get people to vote for Team Red. But no matter who gets into office, you know, the people who are always paying more in taxes are always going to be working class citizens. The top 1% will not. And I wonder if Fox News will ever cover the fact that, yes, we all know this all kind of started under Ronnie Boy Reagan and carried on with by George Bush Sr., you know, being pro-Wall Street, pro-corporation. But I'm waiting for the day when Fox News will cover a segment on how Democratic President Bill Clinton opened the floodgates for Wall Street to turn into the nightmare that we see it now. I wonder if Fox News will ever talk about how the fact that Bill Clinton and the Democratic Party really gave a big booster shot for Wall Street to do all this reckless spending, lead us into inflation and recession. Because it's true. And I wonder if they'll ever talk like how Barack Obama, you know, turned a blind eye to Wall Street. Hey, wait, everyone, hold on. Maybe I'm forgetting something. Did Barack Obama ever hold Wall Street accountable for the 2008 recession? Oh, that's right. They didn't. He didn't do that at all. You probably won't see it on Fox News, but boy, what a day it would be if Fox News ever decides to cover that.
The last 18 months, I've got a great idea.
What?
Let's have Elizabeth Warren take her proposals and, you know, write them up as you would a business proposal, and then have her appear on Shark Tank. And let's see if she can make a cogent argument why they should tax the rich.
That would be more sound bites of the week from Mark Cuban.
All right. We got one good one.
Yep.
Oh God, I that's the most fake smile and fake laugh I've ever seen in my entire life. All right, hold on, but it gets better, folks. I got another one for you. It's just let me just go ahead and get that set up. So there's a lot to unpack with that. Let me just get this thing right here. And when we look at how these lawmakers survive in the system, you have to remember that Fox News, just like CNN, they're all designed in a way to keep you in the dark and to use fear tactics to keep Americans voting for one side against the other side. It's fascinating when you actually see them really do all their stuff. So hang on, let's go ahead and get this situated.
America was built on work ethic, competitive drive, and betting on yourself. That's what we used to call the American dream. Now, progressive Democrats are trying to take these qualities away. They don't care about work ethic. They don't care about competitiveness. You know, they don't care about betting on yourself. They have been trying to pick who wins and who loses. Just take a look at student loan forgiveness. Who wins and who loses? Who actually wins or loses when you raise taxes? I'll tell you who it's not. It's not the billionaires who lose. You know, progressive Democrats have based their entire party on relying on somebody else's work ethic, competitive drive, and relying on betting on somebody else. That somebody else is also known as the government. What happened to individuals betting on themselves? When did the government become so involved in our life? It kind of happened under the radar. I mean, the American economy is more socialistic than ever. If we continue down this path.
Wow. Whatever drugs he's using, please send them my way. I want to know. The American economy is more socialistic than ever? The American economy is more socialistic than ever? I mean, since when? Here's the real truth. The progressive Democrats, we've seen how they fight. They're not going to fight. Do you think Senator Warren or Senator Bernie Sanders are actually going to muster up the courage to actually implement any progressive policy? We saw how the Democratic leadership handles progressive policies. They don't give a damn. So this whole talk and all this hype about, oh, Mark Cuban versus Warren, it's a nothing burger, really. But it should remind all of you just how easy it is for corporate media to jump on a story like this and to convince people to be on Team Red or Team Blue. It just further adds more power to the talking points that we see all the time on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC, and CBS. The real solution is, well, don't listen to corporate media and don't vote for Republicans and don't vote for Democrats. Simple as that.